Hey guys, and welcome to this video. We're going to be talking about Blue Beetle and the first reactions that are appearing online. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, stay up to date with all the movie news we have going on around here, guys. So we're going to be looking at this screenrant.com article here. Blue Beetle reactions are in for the DC's first movie character. As Blue Beetle becomes the DC Universe's first film character, reactions are starting to come in for the upcoming Jaime Reyes solo movie. So, in summary, Blue Beetle's social media reactions begin to come in, with members of the press offering their thoughts on the DC movie. Blue Beetle was a fantastic introduction to Jaime Reyes as a character hero, reads one reaction, and a love letter to the Latino culture with a focus on family at its foundation. Another reaction praises the movie. Blue Beetle was a brave, bold, new hero for a generation to look up to, bursting with heart and action from start to finish. So yeah, just reading this small summary here, guys, this sounds like fantastic news. It was something I was really worried about. I know a lot of DC fans have been worried because the projections for Blue Beetle have come out and they're really super low. Obviously, with the last 5 or 6 movies in the DC canon as well, kind of, bombing at the box office, struggling to make 400 million. They've done really bad, like financially, critically. They're just not been where it should be, guys. And a lot of people were worried about this Blue Beetle film just flopping on its face and people just not liking it. But it seems from just this small summary here that there are positive praises for the film. So let's jump down into the article and have a bit more of a read, and let's read some of the reactions as well. So, social media reactions for Blue Beetle, starring Xolo Maridueña as Jaime Reyes, has begun rolling in for the DC Universe film. While DC Studios' new continuity will probably start with Superman Legacy, Blue Beetle was essentially serving as a prologue for James Gunn's fresh franchise. For Warner Bros. Discovery, Blue Beetle will be the next to last DC movie of the year, with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom wrapping up in 2023 in December. Yeah, so Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, the Lost Kingdom, will be wrapping up in 2023. Like it says in December, that will be officially the last DCEU film of, the Zack Snyder canon. That era of DC is going to be gone, and we're going to be moving on to the James Gunn, Peter Safran reboot in Superman Legacy next year. So it's a bit sad to hear, to see the Zack Snyder phase go. A lot of people thought, there was some untapped sort of greatness there that we could have tapped into, and it's a shame that we lost it. But obviously with DC kind of bombing at the box office, obviously a reboot was inevitable. They couldn't just allow these movies to keep, coming out and losing money. So, as Blue Beetle was officially 1 week away from opening in theaters, early screenings have been taking place as members of the press have been getting to witness the next DC adventure in advance. Similar to most superhero films, reactions have started coming out on social media as critics are sharing their initial thoughts about Blue Beetle. Check out several excerpts below. So we're going to go down and we're going to read some of these reactions that are coming out to the Blue Beetle movie. There are quite a lot on this page. I probably won't have time to read them all, guys, but we'll read, a few of them, and we'll get kind of a general kind of feeling for what people are saying about the movie. So from Fico, whoever Fico is, not sure who that is. Happy to report that Blue Beetle is definitely a great time in the movies. Not only is it a fantastic introduction to Jaime Reyes as a character hero, but it's also a love letter to the Latino culture that focuses on family at its foundation. Yeah, that's great, guys. So, it's always nice to have, a lot of heart in a movie, have the characters' kind of motivations, and, have a bit of sensitivity in a movie, I guess, just to kind of see the emotional kind of side of the superhero genre is always nice. So, Fico was happy to report. Yeah, we've already read that, so I don't need to go over that again. GYCO. Sorry, I'm not a big Twitter user, guys. So if these names here are familiar, I'm really sorry. I'm not really sure what they are. GYCO. Oh, get your Comic-Con. It says right there. Sorry. So hashtag Blue Beetle makes a solid debut on the big screen thanks to stellar work of Xolo Maridueña, and an incredibly strong cast, bursting with heart and action from start to finish. Blue Beetle was brave, bold, new hero for a new generation to look up to. Yeah. Oh, didn't mean to click that. So it's always nice to hear, like I said again, bursting with heart. That's great. It's always nice to have heart, a bit of the sentiment side. And it's always nice to hear that it's action from start to finish. There's nothing worse than when you have a superhero origin movie and you want to see how the superhero obviously comes into himself, like how he acquires his costume and his powers and everything for the origin movie, but you don't want it to take an hour to get to that point, and then the last half an hour of the movie is where he's the hero, and then you spend an hour and a half building up to it to have the last half an hour only where he's in the costume. That's, you have to wait a whole hour, and it feels like you're just kind of, it feels like you're kind of just, sitting there just twiddling your thumbs while you're waiting for it to actually get to the point. But yeah, it's good to hear that it's action from start to finish. So from Atabe TV, Blue Beetle resonates with the Latino audience and embodies the culture and values of this community. Laughter and an emotional storyline and captivating action scenes, undoubtedly the choice of Puerto Rican director Angel Manuel Soto, was a complete success for DC. So yeah, this is great, guys. This is the third one in a row that's positive. So, they just keep saying that it's about like Latino culture and kind of the values and the emotion of the storyline, which is fantastic. I really, really hope like the Latino community come out and support this movie, because it seems like it has good representation for the Latinos, and it's really great to see them represented on screen. So I really hope they come out and support the movie. So Jana N. Nagis, Jana on camera. Blue Beetle was amazing, had so much fun in watching, and speechless on how cool the film is. Xolo Maridueña's energy on screen is contagious. Shines as Jenny. Love how much screen time she has. Xolo and Brona's chemistry is unreal. The Reyes family has a spectacular dynamic. Again, guys, saying about the family aspect of it. So it seems like this whole movie is kind of built around that family aspect, and that's kind of where the superhero Blue Beetle is going in this movie. He's just going to kind of build his strength off of what he has with his family, which is kind of cool. So, Blue Beetle is surprisingly emotional, yet hilarious. Exhilarating superhero blockbuster like no other. It's filled to the brim with heart. And Angel Manuel Soto, sorry if I'm butchering these names, guys. I'm trying the best I can. Angel Manuel Soto has created a perfect celebration of Latino culture. Go see Blue Beetle, you won't be disappointed. Fourth one in a row, 4 out of 4. This is really good, guys. Let's keep it going. So, POC culture. Hashtag Blue Beetle is my favorite post Nolan DC. Whoa, that's a big statement there. Blue Beetle is my favorite post Nolan DC film. That's a big statement. It's an action-packed, highly entertaining superhero story about family, and there's nothing more important than family. The film is unique in that it is loving and unabashedly shares the Reyes family Mexican culture. So that's 5 out of 5, guys. Positive. We haven't come across one negative one yet. Genesis O'Neill. Hashtag Blue Beetle stands out from previous DC entries, and it's mostly due to the Latin flavor. Let's be real, it's funny, emotional, and action scenes with Blue Beetle are amazing. The cast is beautiful, but Maridueña and Lopez shine. Can't wait to see more. Congratulations. Congrats, Alvaro. Not sure what that means. Yep, that's great. Another positive one. Blue Beetle was a massive win for DC and an electric introduction to the first hero of the DCU. Xolo Maridueña's charismatic star-making performance confidently anchors this intimate synthwave journey of family heritage and purpose, a fresh and endearing spin on the origin story. And that's from Griffin Schiller. Let's keep going. So Atom, hashtag Blue Beetle review. Superhero magic is so creative, hilarious, and emotional. A fun coming-of-age adventure with cool cameos, insane action that'll burst your blue balls. Not just another comic book film. It's one of the best DC movies ever. One of the best DC movies ever. Oh, I don't. Those are fighting words. I'm not sure, man. Obviously, in my opinion, the best DC film ever made is got to be The Dark Knight. I know a lot of people agree with me on that. The Dark Knight. If this even approaches anywhere near the greatness of The Dark Knight, I'd be very surprised. But to hear this, one of the best DC films ever, that's amazing. Like, I didn't expect to hear that in any of these reviews, so that's great. A thing ends setting what's up next. So it sounds like, I know that there's post-credit scenes in this movie, or like a mid-credit scene. I haven't looked into it. I don't really want to know. I'd rather go to the movies and kind of watch it and be surprised myself, and I haven't really read into it. So from Tessa Smith, Blue Beetle entertained me far more than I thought it would. It gives off Iron Man feels and delivers a down-to-earth and intimate story about family and moral values. Susan Sarandon is a comic book villain I did not know I needed. George Lopez is hilarious. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been getting from it, like Iron Man. Iron Man vibes. When you watch the trailer and he puts the suit on, and the suit kind of like, there's like an animatronic voice that starts talking to him, kind of like, what's his name? The voice, Jarvis, that's one. Jarvis in the Iron Man suit. And then, in the trailer, when you see him flying up and his suit's kind of taking control of him for a minute. Yeah, it definitely has Iron Man vibes, that's for sure. So, Humberto Gonzalez, Blue Beetle is here, and Latinos finally have a superhero that their own reflected on the big screen. The film is so incredibly good, so unique, and delivers on all fronts, giving the superhero genre a much-needed shazam. The film's Tangerine Dream-inspired synthwave score also rocks. Yeah, guys, this is amazing. So this is like the 6th or 7th review that I've read now. There's not been one negative one yet. Obviously, everybody knows that Blue Beetle was going to go to streaming, and then they decided to upgrade it to a theatrical release. And it seems like they made the correct decision here. So these reviews are great, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to do well at the box office. We still need people to come out and support it. But based on the track record of the last, 5 or 6 DC films, it's more than likely going to flop, which kind of hurts to say, being a big DC fan myself. So everybody who's watching, if you like DC, go out and support the film. Show up, show them that you're interested in DC still. So BD, the Blue Beetle movie, is mostly a blast. Some is too silly or childish for me. A lot had me laughing loud. George Lopez, practical suit rocks. The Latino representation is awesome. Enjoyed the family-centric stakes. Solid action beats. Overall, it's fun. So this is the first kind of little bit of a kind of negative comment that we've had, that it's a little bit too silly and childish. But then I always say, when it comes to comedy is such a personal thing, because what one person finds funny, another person doesn't find funny. Some people find things too silly, whereas other people don't find it. So it's very, like, comedy is very personal level. Just very hard to get right comedy. But apart from that, the rest of what he's saying is positive, which is great. So lastly, comic book. Yep, that's the one I just read, so we don't need to read that. What the Blue Beetle reactions reveal about the DC movie. So what is becoming abundantly clear is that these Blue Beetle reactions is that the superhero genre is definitely not dying anytime soon. Well, people have constantly keep saying that, superhero fatigue is the reason why, a lot of the Marvel content recently hasn't been doing very well. It's gotten bad reviews. Their last phase or so, people have kind of, fallen off the Marvel bandwagon, as to speak. But I don't think that's to do with superhero fatigue. That's to do with them writing crappy scripts. And, obviously, Secret Invasion just came out. That was a complete bomb. Everybody hated the end of it. That was real bad. We had Ant-Man and Quantumania, people didn't really like. But then, remember, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 came out and made $800 million at the box office, which means people are still interested in these movies. You just got to write a good movie. If you write crap and, bad storylines, then nobody's going to care about it. So, while 2023 has been up and down for comic book movies, Blue Beetle shows that the audience for superhero adventures is still there, as it's been heavily dressed up if these types of films have started to reach a fatigue point. But based on early thoughts of Blue Beetle, the DC installment is fresh and exciting. Another major aspect of Blue Beetle is having a superhero of colour, and centre is still something audiences want to see. Hollywood has slowly begun to become more inclusive, especially for the comic book genre, and there is still a hunger and desire to see more diverse superheroes. Based on a lot of these reactions, Blue Beetle is clearly becoming another great addition in that regard. It'll be interesting to see how Blue Beetle resonates with general audiences once the movie gets released in theaters. If the film is successful, it will be just the beginning for Jaime in the DC universe. With 2023 having been rough for DC movies, Blue Beetle appears to be finally giving Warner Bros. Discovery a win for the massive comic book movie space this year. So yeah, like I said, guys, obviously the projections have come out. The projections for this movie are super low. The track record of the DC movies recently have been super, super bad as well. I would say there's probably an 80 to 90% chance that it's going to bomb, which kind of sucks. And I really don't like saying that because I'm a huge DC fan, but we have to call it what it is. We have to look at the track record and what's been happening recently with DC. Unfortunately, a lot of people have fallen off the DC wagon, and it's a shame, really. But to hear these reviews is absolutely fantastic. Guys, if you're at all interested in DC or Blue Beetle, make sure you go out, vote for this movie with your wallet, as they say. Show up, and if you like it, go online, post a little review about it, let other people know that it's good. The more people that we let know that this movie is good, the more people will go and watch it, the more support it will get, and it will show that DC that we're still interested in these movies. But yeah, guys, so that's kind of all we have for the reactions on the Blue Beetle movie. So jump down to the comment section, guys. Let me know what you think about these reviews. Are you looking forward to this movie now? I'm even more excited. This has definitely moved my needle and made me more excited to go and watch this film. And thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.